Alright guys, let's go over the worst characters all the way to the best characters, going over raw data from Season 2.5 with, of course, Ultron. This is going to be an objective tier list, only counting ranked, by the way, for this list. We're going to start off from the worst characters and go all the way to the one best player in the game as far as the hero to play, but it's actually going to surprise you quite a bit. I'm actually surprised by the number one spot, but let's kick it off from the bottom. So these are the characters that are simply just not winning. By the way, the percent number that you guys are seeing is the win rate of the characters in ranked only for Season 2.5. So starting right off at the lowest right now, the lowest win rate is not Jeff. It is now topped by Black Widow, having a 41% win rate, which is kind of surprising considering that, well, the character did receive a bunch of buffs as time has went on. We've got a new Punisher team up, but it looks like it's really not that great. But I'll tell you for sure, at the higher ranks of the game, if you see a Black Widow, she is definitely a threat, but let's be real, she is easily counterable compared to some of the other characters in the game. Next up, Moon Knight. Moon Knight was only really good when he was able to charge his ult really fast, and he had like this bug, and after the bug, I really haven't seen any good Moon Knights. He just kind of turbo feeds into support ult. And another thing that I want to mention from Season 2.5 is there is a lot more people playing Flyers. Iron Man, Storm, and obviously Ultron are seeing a lot more play if they don't get banned. Well, Ultron, to be honest, doesn't get banned that often, but quite frankly, I have been seeing Storm being banned in a lot of games. Also, Human Torch did receive some nerfs as well, but he's seeing a little bit more play because, well, people aren't banning him. But Moon Knight struggles against those characters for sure, which would be strange because you think Black Widow's good against flying meta, right? But again, I guess she's just getting countered too hard. But as far as Human Torch goes, surprisingly, he was a character that, like, in the higher ranks, he was banned a lot of times. But now with, I guess, the amount of flyers that exist, plus Ultron can kind of heal a lot of the AoE that he was dealing in terms of getting his ult fast by charging it up via, like, the tanks just kind of sitting in the AoE. But I guess that nerf really hurt Human Torch's, like, win rate, because he's towards the bottom of the barrel now. Again, this is something super surprising. Now, the next character, this is why I make tier list, no joke. This character is in the worst spot right now. He's towards the bottom. This is the fourth worst character to play right now for ranked. That is, of course, Hawkeye. So Hawkeye has a 44% win rate. Again, this is why tier lists aren't always the most perfect when you just sort by win rate, but objectively, we cannot argue with this. He has one of the lowest win rates in the game, which is crazy because the next character, it combos with him. So it's specifically Luna and Hawkeye have this combo where you can freeze through walls. Like, it's super OP. At the higher ranks of the game, then if you hit this, it's game over. You can combo this with so many other characters. You can basically hit someone and then have someone else dive on him. It is absolutely huge to actually have not get banned at the higher ranks. This almost always gets banned in terms of specifically Hawkeye. Hawkeye just gets banned very, very frequently at the higher ranks of the game. Luna, occasionally people just don't like to deal with it. I still think that Luna and Hawkeye, because they both receive some buffs, are really, really great characters. It's so weird that they are at the bottom. And sometimes, for specifically Luna, it can be people that want to swap into Luna when they're like losing, playing some sort of like, you know, maybe a Mantis or Adam Warlock. People are like, hey, can you play like a Luna? It's really weird that Luna is towards the bottom of the barrel because I would consider her an absolute S tier character in basically the entirety of this game. She's always been really, really strong. But hey, stats don't lie, right? But I just wanted to make this video also because I think it's fun to check out kind of what is the characters that people are playing and seeing the win rate. Now, what's interesting is Invis Woman, which I think is one of the best strategists in the game. It secures a lot of different kills. The ultimate is very strong. She has a pretty low win rate as well. Next up, this is kind of no surprise, and I want to target these three in particular kind of like at the same time. It has to do with Venom, Squirrel, and the Thing. So why are these characters kind of here? Again, the flying meta has definitely shown itself to be quite relevant, and specifically, you can't really deal with those characters. Tank kind of sucks this season. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but a lot of people do not want to play Tank. I've had to solo Tank a lot of games this season, and it is particularly due to, well, there's just too many flyers, therefore you can't damage them, realistically. Like, yeah, I understand Venom can go on the wall and you can jump off. You can, but like, just because you can doesn't mean it's going to be consistent, and I still think Venom's a pretty good character, but again, these are just via the stats. Squirrel has the same problem, you can't hit things in the sky. The Thing, obviously, he's not a flyer. Jeff the Land Shark, so this is a combo with Storm that can be kind of nasty if it does successfully go off, but 9 times out of 10, well, having Jeff on your team is usually going to be an L. So yeah, that was why he's here, and he just like kind of lost out on his playstyle, which is kind of sad. They kind of wrecked the character pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie, after the most recent update. Next up, we got Winter Soldier. So Winter Soldier, I think it comes down to them nerfing his ult. The character actually was saying that this character was like super OP in the previous seasons and he's so dang good, but now he's just really fallen out of favor. I think it comes down to, again, flying meta, and he's not hit scan, but I still think he deals with flyers quite well. It's just that after the flyer gets knocked down, they get a shield or whatever case may be, he just kind of loses out on his value. So they have been buffing this character. I think they need to maybe look at like giving his ult like the 15% instead of 10% in terms of like the target's remaining HP to be executed. That could kind of help out. The more over here is also towards like the bottom of the barrel in terms of like win rate. Again, anything under 50% is more likely going to be receiving a buff. It's kind of how a lot of game developers look at things, as that's kind of where they want most characters to be. So Namor just hasn't really been seeing some play in terms of like the meta, I guess, in terms of him being super good. I still think the Hulk team up is absolutely godly. I've been dropping some more gameplay season 2.5, carrying with Namor. I think this character is really good. You just kind of need a flank with him, but at the same time, because the flyers can break LOS quite easily, that could be a reason why he's just not popular as far as it goes in terms of the win rate. Groot also over here, even though he's banned pretty much, if you play the high rank dude, he's banned like almost every single time. He has a 20% ban rate, which is actually quite high compared to the rest of the roster, but this character is still really good. I would say it's kind of map dependent. There are certain maps where he can just absolutely hold down areas, which becomes very nasty. Groot, I still think, is an absolutely godly character, but he's at a 47. It's not too bad, but again, flyers is kind of the thing. He got a small slap on the wrist that like nerfed his damage by like 5. It's like almost like not any nerf, because if they nerf the way his wall works or something, then he loses his identity. And I want to give Marvel Rivals some credit for specifically not like nerfing the character so hard that they don't work, with the exception of Jeff, because that's a playstyle that makes kind of a toxic environment, to be honest, when you're playing like the flank Jeff, right? Magneto also over here towards again the bottom over here, although I would say at the high ranks this character is so good because it just counters Cloak and Dagger specifically. He got a small buff. It looks like the buff isn't really doing too much. Cloak and Dagger just haven't been as powerful as they were before, and I think that it's pretty much since they changed the overlap, I would say the character definitely sees a lot less play, but also right now because Ultron just came out, a lot of people are playing Ultron, but I still think Cloak and Dagger is an excellent character in terms of like dealing with a lot of situations. I actually prefer having Cloak, but at the higher ranks, you do see sometimes people asking that do main Cloak and Dagger to ban Magneto, and you can see in this game right here, there was a Magneto that was banned, so this is specifically due to like this ult in particular. But next up over here, Scarlet Witch, she's received some buffs with like Doctor Strange team up, but really hasn't been seeing too much play. Star-Lord got a nerf in terms of his ultimate, in terms of the charge rate, and that's kind of where the character excels. I feel like this character is godly against Ultron. The reason why, just deletes him, pops his ult, really good stuff. Punisher got some buffs, and actually the Punisher buffs are actually pretty good to deal with flyers, which is interesting because they kind of have the season all about flyers, and then Punisher's over here kind of at a negative win rate, but like at the same time, again, because you're not bursting people down sometimes, how it works is they're just going to break line of sight. That's the reality of like high rank games. Like in the lower ranks, you know, people may get out of position, so Punisher becomes a lot better. He's also kind of like noob friendly, as in like he's a great character to learn as well, but he's now we're getting towards like, you know, 49%, which is kind of where I think the game wants to be. And then also we're talking about Spider-Man. So Spider-Man loses out on the Venom team up, but the good Spider-Mans, you can play without it, but sometimes people do ban Venom, but I haven't really seen Venom getting banned. It's specifically if they know that they have a Spider-Man, because the Spider-Man Venom combo is so dang good. Losing out on that definitely probably hurt a lot of Spider-Mans, but if you're good, I mean, people are really good at one-tricking certain characters, and Spider-Man is definitely one of them. Next up over here, Psylocke took some nerfs, so she is now, again, we're almost moving towards the 49, but still kind of the lower half here. So Psylocke lost some buffs with the change with the Emma, which is still a good like buff that she's able to get with the team up, but she loses out on some damage, as well as she lost out on the ability to have her stealth for an extra second. It might seem small, but like the ability to get in and out sometimes does matter, and it just forces you to pop your thing a little bit later than earlier, and that could reveal where your location is. So that's something to keep in mind with specifically Psylocke. Still think she's an okay character for sure if you can play it right. Against flyers, she can shred flyers, which is interesting because when I was trying to play Storm in season 2, I felt like she absolutely just wrecked, but with the newer changes, I've seen a lot less Psylocke players, and also Storm's getting banned quite often. But if you can play it, I still think Psylocke, in the good hands, is still a pretty good character. Next up, Loki. It is too hard to heal people that are flying, but usually Ultron, Iron Man, and Storm, if like they're playing up, usually what happens is they'll throw the drone on the flyer, and they kind of keep themselves up, and then you usually play triple support with a flyer. But Loki can't really heal the flyers, which is something to mention. But speaking of flyers, obviously, yes, a lot of people just don't want to play tanks. But Wolverine, I still think is good. In the right hands, this character still absolutely shreds. This character is god tier. If you're a tank player, you know how it is, especially at the higher ranks. If there's a good Wolverine, it feels bad to play, man. And you know what's crazy, guys? They buffed this character. I would not have believed you told me they buffed Hela. They buffed Hela. They buffed her like extra little like shards that she shoots out like when she uses her right click, but it really doesn't matter too much against flyers. So it doesn't really help her against flyers that much, which is interesting. So next up though, Iron Man got a nerf, but he's actually pretty good against flyers because he can stick on them quite well. He's actually a 49% win rate here, which is pretty interesting. Now, I wouldn't have believed you told me that Iron Fist is actually losing to Black Panther in terms of win rate. It's by a small amount, but like Black Panther against flyers this season, I think what's happening is he's just targeting some of the backline. I mean, I played against good Black Panther the other day, and he absolutely shredded our team. And it's because like he just, if there's a really good player at the high ranks of the game. Again, Black Panther absolutely destroys. Next up, though, Adam Warlock, not really any changes here. I mean, he's able to just look up there, heal the flyers, which is good. I'm actually not sure why he's kind of high up here. You know what's crazy? I would have told you that I thought Thor was like towards the bottom of the barrel. I see almost no one playing Thor this season, and well, he's at like under 50% win rate right now. That is pretty dang crazy to me that he's like basically 50%. I'm really surprised if they don't buff him in the next upcoming season. They nerfed him for what I felt like was like no reason. He wasn't like super destroying in the meta, but whatever, they nerfed him, man. Then Doctor Strange, I've been telling people Doctor Strange is really good this season, and it's just because he's able to, his ult compared to a lot of the other ults, with the exception of Magneto, which is very hard to consistently land even at the higher ranks, because obviously the higher rank cloaks will ask for a bubble or a shield, or people will shield for them. But specifically, Doctor Strange is still a really good character this season, again above 50% over here. Emma Frost, she took some nerfs. I honestly cannot say that she got nerfed like to the point where she's like unplayable. In fact, I actually like the buffs. She has a small extend on her range, which keeps your charge at 100% most of the game, which is absolutely massive. You can see, I was just talking about Doctor Strange, and like that ult is still so incredibly powerful, and that's why I like Doctor Strange. Cap took some small nerfs. Oh wait, hold on, we gotta talk about Ultron. Where Ultron at? So Ultron over here, since we were just talking about Emma. So yeah, Emma's still good. Ultron over here. What is the change with Ultron that would make him a lot better? Well, they did buff his ult before he came out, and I was saying that he's F tier. I still think the character is absolutely throw tier. But at the same time, people are, I guess, making it work with a 50% win rate. He can't be that bad, right? I mean, he's better than Black Widow, but I don't know. I still feel like this character is a throw pick at most ranks, unless it's like really, really high rank and the person is good. I feel like this character, while it does charge up the ult fast, it's just not as good as just having another DPS. As far as it goes, Captain America took a small nerf, but it doesn't really matter. I still think he's a pretty good character for diving. Same thing with like Hulk. I get it that it's a flying meta, so a lot of people don't want to play tank, but if you play these other characters that can just go in the backline, destroy the one support or even two support that are in the back, and then the flyers are kind of distracted, maybe you can get some pretty good value if you stick on targets. Storm has actually been seeing a lot more play. Like I said, she's been getting banned quite a bit now. Same thing with Iron Man. It's like a flying meta. If you guys have kind of seen, like these characters have very, very high win rates. Specifically, Storm and Iron Man have very high win rates right now. And then surprisingly, above both of these, because like I said, flying meta, we have the brand new Ultron, right? And we also have Magic here at pretty high win rate, 52%. But Magic's kind of weird because I feel like the people that play Magic, especially at the higher ranks of the game, or even at the low ranks, they usually do pretty well. So, I don't know, maybe Magic players are just goated into flying meta. Next up, though, we got to go towards the top, and that is Mantis. Mantis is actually doing pretty well, I guess, this season at a 52% win rate. And then going even further up, Mr. Fantastic. I wouldn't have believed you if you told me Mr. Fantastic is actually one of the top characters this season in a flying meta of all things. But maybe he's just keeping the backline alive. Again, this is just straight up raw stats. So there's no lies here. And then we have Rocket Raccoon at second. And if you were to tell me the #1 spot was Penny Parker, I would have said, dude, that's cap. But the stats don't lie, guys. Penny Parker is the #1 character right now for ranked. That is a big surprise to me as a Penny main. I will tell you, I know why this character has one of the highest win rates. What happens is people start off on Penny, and if they fail, they swap immediately. I do this all the time, so it inflates the win rate. This is why Torbjorn and Symmetra in Overwatch, people play them first point defense, and if it fails, they swap. So the win rate, when they are successful, is quite high. So this is something to also take with a grain of salt, as this is raw stats for all of the ranks here. It's not just like counting Grandmaster or Diamond or Silver or whatever, but these are the raw stats. So if you want to rank up, I mean, it depends on your skill level, but this is where the game is. Let me know if you guys were surprised by any. I would not have believed you told me Penny Parker was the highest win rate character in the game. 56% means that maybe she's going to get nerfed. I don't know. Do you guys think Penny should be nerfed? Let me know down below if you disagreed with anything. Again, this is just raw stats. This isn't my opinion, but these are the characters to play in Season 2.5 according to Rivals meta for straight up win rates. But anyways, you guys let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new, subscribe to the bell if you want to see more stuff like my new updated tier list. But this is the tier list for, again, what's winning in the game. But peace out, guys.